Good morning, magic players and card collectors of all kinds. Sorry about the chair noise there. I have somebody who wants to say hi. Hello, Karma. Say hi, Karma. Yeah. Good girl. I'm in a different location today, as you've noticed. I'm hanging out in the kitchen because my wife is at work and I've got to take care of the two dogs. Karma gets lonely. The poor little girl. She misses her mommy. Don't eat the quiver case, sweetie. Yes, kiss the quiver case. Love the quiver case. Not that she could do any damage to Quiver, because Quiver is the superior product. Anyways, I'm back today to do my pre-game episode of Magic for our magical journeys together. Through the magical polls. Oh my goodness, series. Sorry, my mind blanked there for a bit. Anyways, I am back today to propose a challenge, if you will. This week we are going to put our sealed deck to the test. I am going to challenge it against my new deck that I have just built. I built this one from scratch, and I'm going to see how many wins versus losses I can get this week on both of these decks. Kaiba, calm down, please. Yes, I know, they're busy doing work outside. Unfortunately, they're doing construction today, so Kaiba's losing his mind. But we're going to continue the video anyways, and you'll just hopefully be okay with the puppy crying in the background. So I just wanted to go through the decks today. They have had different... This one's had some updates recently, and I just wanted to make sure that we were all aware of what each card was in this deck. So I'm going to kill the lights first, because that glare is horrible. Calm, Kaiba. You're okay. I know. So I'm just going to show you each of the decks today, and then I'm going to explain the challenge. This is a newer card, and this one actually won me a game last night against Anthony. It was Anthony's birthday, by the way, yesterday. Shout out to him, and I hope that you guys will maybe give him some love on this video in the comments. Grimoire of the Dead is a particularly good card in this deck. The Skylord, of course, is a big bonus. Lots of mana. Army of the Damned. Can't go wrong with that. Necrotic Hex. Definitely some good board wiping in black. Fear of the Death has actually been a really good thorn in the side card for people. Feed the Swarm has gotten me out some jams. I'm just going to move the other deck up a bit so that I have a little more space to do this. The Drawker's Helm is a card that I'm considering removing if I can find something else to put in. Dig Through Time is another one that... It's a really good card, but if I can't delve, it costs way too much to play. Pilfer Plans has been helpful. I haven't had a chance to take the mirror for a spin yet in its true form, but I'm excited to see what this mirror can do when I get it onto the field. Sorry again about the puppy. Kaiba, calm. Calme-toi. Of course, the Soul Ring is a classic. The Squid is another one that's probably not going to make the cut eventually when I start getting some more zombies. I love the Squid. It's got a really cool full art, but it's not really super useful, except to be a pain in the butt when you actually have the landfall. Liliana is another key piece to this deck. She works really well with the Hellhound. That's how I won the game last night. Wither Crown is definitely a card that people hate when I get that out. Soul Knife Spy is another one that's probably going to get dropped if I get a decent enough zombie. The commander, or the lieutenant, is definitely a key piece to this deck. Basically, the goal of this deck is to build a big army, make it so that they're intimidated, and then attack with them, or to hide behind them and let my life just, or my other effects just drain their life. Drill their life. Drain their life. Mauler is a particular pain for, or Marauder is a particular pain for people. Now that I've had it explained to me what to do with him, basically you should be taking him, putting him in, and sacrificing him right away instead of sacrificing someone else. Because then you can get him back and do it again with the effect of our commander. And that's just really annoying for people. I love the hollow flip the switch that I've got now. And that's the deck. I believe Avon Heartstabber is going to stay in this deck. Just because I love the way it gets Death Touch and 2/2 plus the flying. So it's got some really good effects for this deck. Unlike some of the other cards that I've mentioned that are going to get pulled, probably, if I get a decent enough replacement. Pardon me. Now this deck here, first I'll show you my commander. The commander in the other deck hasn't changed. So basically we have a competition between Agnes and Giza. I always just call it Giza, to be honest. I know it's Giza and Geralf, but Giza's really the star. Geralf just kind of backs her up. That's my opinion. Yes, Karma, you're a good girl. Karma's hanging out by my feet. She's nervous about all the construction that's going on outside. That's what's causing Kaiba to lose his mind. I think they're making new sewers or something. So this deck here is green, red, black, and its goal is to get creatures with haste onto the field so I can make treasures, so I can just keep using lots of mana each turn and get as many of my cards into play before other people can and strike them down. So unlike my other deck where I'm basically not combat oriented, this one's hyper combat oriented. It also has a lot of +1, +2 counters in it. And like I say, it's big on the haste, it's big on trample. This guy is an awesome card in this deck. He makes little goblins if I don't get a land when I attack with him, and if I do get a land, then I get an extra land on the field automatically. And it's not a waste of a draw the following turn. He has a nice kicker. Hate Seed is a nice one to have. Some of these cards I got from the store, La Boutique de Fan. Best store out there for sure. I can't say enough about how much I love going there and getting cards. They may not be officially sanctioned with Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or anybody yet, but they're working at trying to get a community built there, and if you happen to be in the area, I think you are missing out if you don't come out for Sunday Magic. We typically play between noon and 4 most Sundays at the store. There's usually at least a couple of us, if not enough for a full commander set. Some of these cards I just put in because they're so big. Molten Monstrosity is a huge guy. Anthony gave me this, and this card is definitely going to be like a massive boost in my deck because it'll let me reshuffle constantly. Chain Reaction is my board wiping spell in this deck. I know it hits mine too, but it's worth it if I can nuke all of his slivers, for example, or somebody else's creatures. Kaiba! Crew Captain is really cool because he has haste, but he's also indestructible on that first turn. I have an Owl Bear. Everybody seems to really like the Owl Bear upstairs. This card is a really solid card for an instant. Creature gets a 3/2 boost, and you get to scry. Green Gala Greeters is awesome because you have multiple effects that you can trigger. And although you can only trigger each effect once per turn, you can trigger all 3 of those effects during your turn if you play 3 creatures. So that's pretty solid. And that includes tokens as far as I understand it. I can get some lands into the graveyard with a couple different plays, and that will boost this guy up pretty solid. I have another board wiping thing with Hex, but it's not as effective as Chain Reaction is. This is a solid card. This gives me Vigilance, Trample, and Haste on whatever creature I attach it to, and it's an equip 1. So once I've gotten it on the field, it's really cheap to move it around. He gets to help me generate some mana. Generating mana is always key in this deck. This is a card I've put in just because I know my black and blue deck would be devastated by it, and I face enough black players that it's worth having this. I really like sagas. This deck has 3 sagas in it. I'm just going to show you each side of the saga before putting it back in its sleeve. Just move that over slightly. It's starting to get a little full underneath the camera. I'm torn about the dragon. It's a big boy, but it doesn't have a lot of power. The main reason to put it in there is because you get the 2 treasure tokens, and it has flying. There's not a lot of creatures in red-green, on my side at least, that have flying. Fervor is a beautiful enchantment. It gives all my creatures haste. I like Ancient Fang's ability. I moved the Puppeteer Clique from the black and blue deck out because I needed space for other things, and decided to put it in this one because I need the extra flyer. This guy here is actually one of my werewolves. I believe I have 2 werewolves in this deck. The werewolf mechanic I know is kind of a challenging one for people. I think it's fun to play with. It makes an extra layer of challenge. This card here is really OP, but it's OP in a way that it's shared for the entire table, and I really like that. My little Axguard Cavalry gives another creature haste. Immolation is a good card, for sure. This is my second saga. Azura's. I like that if you block it, I get to untap 3 lands, so that's pretty solid for a 3/3. This is definitely my favorite saga, though. I forgot to switch it over after my last game. This one here, it just gets so boosted when you have enough land, and this deck has a decent amount of land that it's going to be boosted for sure. There's my other werewolf. I was worried I'd skip past her and didn't show her. So you've got that side there, and on the other side you've got this. So, pretty solid card. And finally, this little guy here. The fact that you can exile all your instants and sorceries, and then you can sacrifice him if he's still on the field, and bring those cards back without paying their mana costs is insane. So I've already tested both of these decks against Anthony, and Anthony definitely believes that the superior deck is the red, green, black deck. I am of the opinion that they both have their merits, and while I must confess that the black blue deck, being limited to a sealed only deck, has definitely somewhat handicapped the deck, it really is moving along at a very nice pace. There's been a lot of improvements that I've really been proud of in that deck. I think the Dollarama draws of destiny have definitely come through for us more often than not. And I think my continued pulls from Innistrad will also just continue to boost that deck all the more. So my plan is to continue to try and get packs of Innistrad and packs of from the dollar store, and try to boost that deck up throughout the week if I can. I don't have a lot of funds this week, unfortunately, to play with, but if I can get some funds, I will definitely go do that, and we will see how these decks match up. I am going to put up a community post each day from today until Sunday at the end of each day, giving you an update on the comparison of the two decks. I also wanted to mention just briefly before I close out this video that I feel... Kaiba, can you please stop? That I feel a little bit guilty about the fact that I put out such a poor quality video with regards to the deck profile the last time. So I'm going to take some time to do that deck profile again, and I'll probably delete the first video, or I'll leave it up and I'll just say it's the depressed version. And then I'm going to make a proper deck profile version of that and explain how that deck works and why I like it so much. So I haven't really played the Psychic Punk deck too much myself yet since I just made it, but I do understand the interactions of the cards, and I feel like I didn't put my best foot forward in that video. So I will definitely be making another update on that video soon, and hopefully be putting it out either tonight or tomorrow, alongside with the box opening I promised, which will be starting on Thursday. So those are the updates to the channel. Those are the updates to Magic itself, and I hope that you are enjoying following my journeys, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Take care. Love you all. Bye.